Okay, I'll do that. You're welcome. Live from the 35th Annual NHRA Spring Nationals at Houston Raceway Park, welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeart Radio. Coming up, more car talk, more than you can possibly stand. But we invite you to stay tuned. It's a bonus hour of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, we need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong, and today's broadcast is sponsored by Toyota Gazoo Racing North America. And speaking of such, the driver of the all-new Toyota GR Supra Funny Car, DHL driver, Todd. It's good to see you, my friend.
It's good to be seen.
Yes, it is. Well, for all of us, yeah. How have you been?
Pretty good. It's good to be back here in Baytown. It's kind of sad it's the last race. So being that it's the last race, it'd be nice to leave here with the trophy tomorrow.
Yeah. Another Baytown trophy for you.
Yes, sir. You can never have too many Baytown trophies. Trust me.
So, how did you do last night in qualifying?
Not that well.
No?
We were one of the few cars that went out there and spun the tires. I mean, our early numbers, we were on pace to run 389, 388 right up there with the top guys, but just, got loose out there 400 or 500 feet and spun the tires. But good thing is we get 2 more cracks at the track here today, and there's only 15 cars, so we're in the show, and no matter what, it's all about getting good data today for tomorrow.
Yeah. Tell me what it's like to drive a funny car inside of a body with the engine sitting in front of you.
At first, going from the dragster to that, it's pretty intimidating, and then it takes a whole different driving style. You try to take everything that you learned in a top fuel dragster, which I started driving when I was 18, and I'm 40 now. So wow. You take all those characteristics or traits that you learned and try to apply that to the funny car, and it teaches you right away that's not going to work. So it took me, I don't know, half the season there in 2017 to get comfortable behind the wheel and just kind of retrain myself on how to drive a race car.
Well, it's a completely different setup in the fact that, first of all, the weight shift from the back of the car to the middle of the car in front of you, I mean, it has to be a completely different driving experience, plus the shorter wheelbase. Yeah,
there's just so many factors that I didn't even know about until I got over there to the DHL team to drive that car. Just the weight difference from a Del Worsham driving before I did to me getting there. They had to shift weight around in the car, move the fireballs, just a lot of different things. It was kind of a trial by fire that they didn't even know until I got in the car and had to figure it out on the fly. And then for me, driving wise, it's a balancing act, trying to figure out when you have to give it a lot of steering input and then not too much where you're going to upset the car, where it's going to spin the tires. So it's a fine line that I still at times have trouble dealing with. I think any funny car driver will tell you that, where it's not like a dragster where 9 times out of 10 a dragster is going to kind of do the same thing every time down the track, where you're just giving it small corrections with the wheel, keeping it in the groove. Or the funny cars, like they're all over the place.
Wow. Well, and I think that if anybody were to go out there and look at this new GR body, the Supra body that you guys have developed and debuted this year, that thing is extra long, and it is slicker than owl something or another. I'm sure you've heard that term before. I mean, that is one heck of a body. I mean, it is remarkably different than any of the other funny car bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody at Toyota Gazoo Racing North America, they knocked it out of the park when it comes to the styling, the lines, the characteristics. I think it looks so much like an everyday GR Supra, the street version, than any other funny car is supposed to resemble what it's supposed to be like. They really did a great job. And for me, as a driver, the visibility, I mean, being able to see over top the injector and see so much of the track, just sitting static, that gives me more comfort inside the car, knowing that I have a better shot of keeping it in the groove when I hit the throttle, to where in the past, I mean, you kind of had to wait till you got going and the tires grew to where you could finally see down on the track where you're going. Yeah, so you just had to look so far down track to where that was one of the things I really struggled with moving from the dragster was, in a dragster you see everything. So it's you just point that thing and go. Where a funny car, it's kind of hard getting your sight line compared to moving to the Supra now.
By the way, I did want to mention to everybody, pardon me for interrupting, Seth came up, was talking to me at the beginning of this hour, and there's a big signing autograph session going on right over here. A lot of the drivers over here.
I'll be back.
Yeah, okay, we'll go ahead.
I'll get mine on the way out.
So for all of the people that are in here inside the Top Eliminator Club watching our broadcast, be sure and stop by right down here. It's in the Darrell Russell Top Eliminator Club section over here. So help yourself, go down there, get you some autographs, talk to the drivers. I think that you'll really enjoy it. You know, I wanted to go a little bit deeper into how it looks now with the new body that's on the car. You say just sitting in the seat, static, when it's just sitting there, you can now see over the hat of the injector?
Yeah, I mean, I can see over the injector, and the dash is lower, so I can see most of the racetrack, which is huge for me, just being able to roll up there and kind of point that thing to where I need to where in the past with the Camry body, I was kind of guessing where I was at on the track for the first 100 feet or so till I got going and the tires start to grow, then you can see the track. It's just, I keep saying now it's kind of taking me back to like driving a dragster where I can see more of the racetrack now.
So when they were developing that body, did they ask you your input on it?
Yeah, for sure. That was a cool thing getting to work with, Slugger Labby and all the guys on that side when they were, designing the body. It started out with, hey, sit inside the car with your phone and, take some pictures or video and give us an idea on what you can see. Then, we worked with Fox on getting the visor cam on my helmet. And, not only was that great for the fans, give a perspective of what I see inside the car, but it also helped us, to help design the super body as well.
So with that helmet cam on, when you're pulling 3 Gs at 3, 4, 5 Gs at the hit, does that really impact you? Do you feel the weight of that, or is it?
Nah, that thing is so light. But what's funny is, the TV producers, they're like, hey man, it's real shaky. Like we need to mount this thing better. Like no, that's how it is inside the car. Like that's what I see.
That's the whole
Want to go for a ride?
Yeah, exactly.
So you said Slugger Labby, but
that's a name from the past.
He's a NASCAR guy that's come over and I guess brought that knowledge into what you're doing now.
Through Toyota, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He's been with Toyota the last 3 or 4 seasons now, and just it brings a whole different set of eyes over to the drag racing stuff that's new to him. He tries to incorporate everything that he's learned from the NASCAR side into what we do, and they're trying to school him on what we do. It's been a good combination. He's a big asset for us out here for sure.
Yeah, definitely bringing a different point of view.
Absolutely.
Now, is this GR body, is it going to show up in NASCAR as well? Do you know?
Right now, the Xfinity Series, they're running the same body style of the Supra. But I believe the Camry, the Cup cars are sticking with that.
Yeah, I think
Gotcha. Interesting.
That's what they were saying earlier.
Have you ever been in a Cup car?
No, I have not.
Not even sat in one?
I've sat in one. That's about it. I don't have much pavement experience in anything other than drag race. I've driven a few dirt cars, but nothing NASCAR. So I wouldn't mind getting in a truck or something, making some laps and have some fun anyways. The closest I've been is the Toyota simulator at the TRD place there in outside of Charlotte. But going off my past experience in that, they probably will never let me run anything on pavement.
They've seen your driving record.
Yeah, it's not good. When I crash in the simulator, they can hit the reset button. I can just go right back out there again. But you can't do that in real life.
In the real life, yeah.
What were you doing before you joined Coletta?
There was a time I was sitting there home on the couch wondering if I was ever going to race again. I drove for a handful of teams from 2006 up to the beginning of 2014. Beginning of 2014, I was driving for Bob Vandergriff part-time. We were going to run, I think, like 5 or 6 races that season and got a call from Connie Coletta there towards it was the Vegas race, which had been the 3rd or 4th race of the season. And just was fortunate enough to get that call from him, kind of changed my life, changed my career.
Wow.
How is your career? You have, sponsor obligations. Are you as busy as the other guys out here with trying to meet all the demands of being a top fuel funny car driver?
Yeah, it's not. It's nothing over the top like you may think, but at the track, we stay plenty busy doing things for Toyota, DHL, I mean, whoever. I mean, we got a lot of guests from Mobile One here this weekend, and I love it. I mean, it beats sitting around being bored. I mean, I can't stand that. If you get too much time to think about what you did wrong or what you need to do, then kind of psych yourself out. But if I can stay busy doing whatever, then I like it that way.
What is one of the dumbest questions you've ever been asked?
You just won.
Yeah, that one.
I just asked it.
Yeah, that was it.
Add that to the list. No, I'm just kidding. But, no, it's funny. Every race, you get some interesting questions from fans. Usually it's first-time fans that don't have a clue about drag racing or what we're doing. So it's funny. I don't want to call anybody out, but I definitely got a long list of questions that I've been asked.
Oh, my gosh. Did you really ask that?
Superstitions?
No, not really. I'd say more of a routine than anything.
I've been getting that from a lot of folks.
Yeah, I try not to be superstitious wearing the same socks or underwear or something like that, but just more of a habit of doing the same thing over and over and over.
Did you grow up in drag racing?
Yeah, I started when I was 10, but my family, my dad, he raced dirt track motorcycles, so it's not like I came from a family that drag raced, you know.
Dirt track motorcycles.
Flat track
Oh
motorcycles.
my God!
There's
That
theme with
borders on
drivers.
crazy.
Yeah, that's up until I started racing when I was 10. That's what I wanted to do, was race flat track like my dad. You know, he raced against Scotty Parker and Jay Springsteen. Those guys, if you're familiar with that type of racing.
Sideways,
Yeah.
knee scraping the ground.
Right.
No brakes.
Yeah.
Throttle up, counter steer.
You know, 130, 135 miles an hour on a mile dirt track. That was the coolest thing in the world to me as a kid growing
Oh
up.
my God! You know,
Until I went to my first drag race and saw a Top Fuel dragster. I'm like, all right, here we go.
Got that taste of
Yeah,
nitromethane.
exactly.
Got a
The
little-
burning of the eyes.
Right.
Yeah, little rubber up the nose.
That's when, you know, they used to hit the throttle in the warm up. Like, that scared the crap out of me as a kid the first time.
what kind of car? What was the first car that you put down at the drag strip?
Junior dragster in 1993. It had a legit 5-horse Briggs and Stratton, the same that would be on a lawnmower. It had a pull starter. I remember we hauled it in the back of my dad's truck to the track, and it seemed like a month or two later we had a motorhome, an enclosed trailer, and a modified engine that was going 4 seconds quicker. You
Dad
know.
got into it.
Yeah, exactly. Things ramped up pretty quick.
It's amazing how that works, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, this is how it works? Pull start? No, we're going to bump this up.
Exactly. Yep.
More power. And I don't know that there's a whole lot more power than you can get than what you're doing now.
Well, yeah, what's crazy is, you know, when NHRA came out with the Junior Drag Racing League, I think it was like $3,000 or $5,000 was what they're advertising.
It's in that range now. Still,
Yeah, you could go racing. Well, that's not the range now. You can't get an engine for less than $5,000.
No, not anymore. Yeah. it
Yeah,
was-
you got to have a couple of them.
I can only imagine.
Right. I mean, Antron, I mean, he's got a, you know, big toter home, stacker trailer, hauls around 4 or 5 cars. He's got a huge shop to where we did not have that. We had a small enclosed trailer, worked out of my, you know, mom and dad's garage at the house, and that was part of my job after every race, be out there in the evening after doing my homework, helping my dad work on that thing.
Clean and prep it.
You're talking
Exactly.
about Antron's and his kids in the junior drags today.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They've taken it to a whole new level.
So what do you do for fun?
Well, I just recently moved to Florida at the end of last summer, so finding new hobbies that I didn't have there in Indy, like paddleboarding and going to the beach and things
Jet
like that.
skis and all that.
Yeah, none of that yet, but yeah, anything.
Where are you? Are you in Central Florida?
South Florida.
South Florida.
Yes, sir.
Down there
Atlantic
in Fort
or the Gulf
Lauderdale,
Coast?
or
I'm on the Atlantic side in Jupiter, near
very
near West
good.
Palm Beach.
nice. You liking it?
I love it,
How's
man.
the lifestyle change going from one city to another?
Oh, I'm no longer freezing my ass off in the winter time. It snowed in Indy on Monday, I think it was, where
Yep.
it's 80 and sunshine down
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
So while you're out paddleboarding, have you crossed a manatee yet?
I have. The last time I
Scare
was
the
out,
daylights out of
yes,
you.
I got a little too close to it, and I scared him, which in turn scared me because he splashed the crap out of me. But it's cool, you know, seeing just sea turtles and manatees and things like that when you're out there.
Mermaids,
Yeah,
yeah.
mermaids.
What kind of car do you drive? Your personal vehicle?
I have a GR Supra, just like what I'm racing out there on the track.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
It's a
Do you
lot of
like
fun.
it?
Oh, it's awesome. It's plenty quick for what it is for getting around town. And what's funny is down there, like, there's all kinds of, you know, awesome street cars. I mean, Ferraris and Lamborghinis and things like that are not out of the ordinary to see. But
Right.
you see people like roll up to you, like, looking at you weird because you're in that Supra. It's just
still draws attention.
Yeah, it draws a lot of attention. I think it's awesome.
So our engineer that was out here with us yesterday, his son is, what, 19? I think he's 19.
19.
I mean, he was all over that Supra that sits over there in the Toyota display.
Yes, sir.
And actually got to open the door, sit in it, close the door, get the feel of it. There is a certain appeal to that age group with that car, and that's the future,
Absolutely. It definitely appeals to the younger generation. I'm driving mine down the street the other day, and I see a young kid, probably in his teens. He's giving me the thumbs up as I drive by him. So they definitely recognize it from a distance when they see one, and it's pretty cool. I mean, like you said, that's the selling factor, and that's what we're trying to do with the funny cars, sell GR Supras.
If only they knew you went 300 miles an hour.
Right. I try not to do that on the highway.
Try. Yeah, you got to try. Yeah.
So tell me about your funny car team over there. How long have they all been together, and how are things going? What's the gel rate over there?
From the time that I started there in 2017 to now, it's pretty much a brand new team. We have a couple guys that are still there from when I started, but other than the crew chiefs, we have a lot of new guys there this year, and even the experienced guys that we have are in new positions. So it's kind of like having a brand new team. It's just, like you said, it takes some time for everything to gel and everybody to get used to one another in their positions, but they're doing an awesome job, and I can always rely on them to give me a good car to go down the track, and I'm ready to be able to celebrate with them and give them a well-deserved win and trophy.
Does your team use your input? This run, I felt that it was doing this or that.
Well, they ask me my input. I don't know if they use it, but they ask me what I think. Yeah.
And obviously, the data recorder tells them everything they need to know about going down the track and engine performance and that sort of stuff. But still, there's that seat of the pants stuff that they don't know.
Yeah, there's certain things that like you said, the onboard computer doesn't tell, but it also will tell if you're lying or not. But yeah,
how would you know that?
Just certain things that we check, like the steering lateral G's that'll, ask me where I steered it on the track, what I felt, just things like that. And they'll ask me that, then come back and look at the video and try to overlay what I said with the computer and the video, and usually it lines up.
And have you noticed from when you first started how that has changed with all the onboard videos that they're doing now as well?
Yeah, it's constantly evolving, especially working with Toyota. We're always working on different things to make the car better. Technology's constantly evolving in these things. It's trying to stay ahead of the curve and not stay behind. That's where we're at with this new GR Super body. I feel like it's definitely light years above what we had, and nothing was wrong with the TRD Camry that we had. It's just an older body style. It was almost 10 years old, and it was still competitive, but I think now that we've kind of got to the next level with this GR Super body.
So do you think that as you guys learn more about that car body, is that going to give you an advantage over some of the other car bodies that are out there?
I sure hope so.
I know that's the intent.
Yeah, it's like I keep saying, it's not something you just bolt on and you go out there and start winning and hauling ass right away. It takes time to figure it out, and we're still in those learning stages. But Todd and Jono, they're doing a good job, collecting data and doing the best they can with it. And I think it's just only a matter of time before we start winning races with it.
Hopefully it'll be today, right?
Yeah, this will be a great weekend to start.
Do you guys go hand in hand, working hand in hand together, sharing data and that sort of stuff with Doug's team?
Yeah, our three cars, they definitely work close with one another. Kurt Elliott, who's over on Sean Langdon's car, he's in our lounge a few times a day working with Todd and Jono. So yeah, it's a big family over there, and it's definitely an open book, I would say, between the three cars over there.
Is there a lot of data that can translate between the Top Fuel and the funny car?
A little bit, but it's completely different how you run a dragster compared to a funny car. What they did may not apply to what we do and vice versa, but it's just little things, how did your parts look, or, things like that.
The engine's still the engine.
Correct.
Yeah.
We all have the same parts and pieces. It's just how you apply it on the track that's different, really.
Good luck today.
Thank you. We could use some good luck.
Well, yeah, and we're pulling for you. And so, I mean, with that, I mean, you're going to go zoom right to the top.
I would definitely love that. It's going to be tricky out here today with the sun on the track, but either way, we definitely look to improve on what we did last night.
Great to talk to you. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me on.
You
Appreciate
bet.
it.
Thank
JR
you.
Todd, DHL, Toyota GR.
Our super funny car driver. And we've got another guest coming up at the bottom of the hour, and we invite you to stay tuned for that. I missed a couple of headlines that I wanted to get in, that I didn't get in earlier. We did talk about the Ferrari. I gave you that news. You know, we always like to bring up heathens and those that are
I'm at that meeting with you.
Exactly. That are out to do no good in the car industry. Well, a former employee was sentenced to 2 to 6 years in prison on Wednesday for pleading guilty to embezzling more than $300,000 from a New York dealership.
It's New York.
Yeah, so what? Hey,
But
forget about it.
pay close attention to the last name. James Castellano.
That's 3 fingers, Castellano.
Worked for New Rochelle Hyundai in 2017.
Tony Two Thumbs.
When he diverted more than $307,000 in checks to his personal bank account.
And they were expecting something different?
Yeah.
That according to the New York State Department of Taxation and
I
Finance.
know a guy that knows a guy.
Well, that's the way they got Capone, was on taxes.
Yeah.
Mr. Castellano was charged with felony grand larceny as well as criminal tax fraud for not reporting the embezzled funds on his personal income tax return.
And
I stole the money, now I'm going to pay the taxes.
And let out on a $25 bond.
He pleaded guilty to the charges in May 2021. Castellano was ordered to pay $307,610.12 to restitution to the dealership.
And how much did he steal?
More than $307,000.
Okay, so he had to give it all back.
Had to give it all back. Castellano was ordered to pay all that money in restitution. He'll also pay a $20,455 fee to the state of New York for dealing.
Uncle's going to pay that for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be messing with somebody with the last name of Castellano in New York.
He lives next door to God.
You know, it's truly amazing. You know, dealerships are no different than any other kind of business in the fact that I guess stuff like that happens in business.
And there's a lot of money moving through dealerships.
I thought that this was truly an amazing story, and I have to share it with you guys in this bonus hour of the In-Wheel Time Car Talk. Ready?
Yes. Yep.
Listening to classical music can increase an electric vehicle's driving range.
Go, because you calm down the way you're driving it.
That's according to an experiment conducted on behalf of Kia UK that tested how drivers' musical tastes affected the way they drove an EV. Now I'm thinking that if they can drive an EV differently, they can do the same thing with a gasoline-powered car, but it found that drivers who listened to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, not the 8th, not the 7th or the 10th, but the 9th Symphony, were up to 4 times more efficient.
Oh, to joy.
Efficient by encouraging them to remain composed and level-headed. Meanwhile, over in the other camp, the up-tempo songs, such as Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, drained the battery faster. The test was overseen by Duncan Williams, a lecturer at the University of Salford's School of Science. Williams is a co-founder of Wave Trace, a psychoacoustic consultancy that tracks human response to sound and music stimuli.
How'd you like to get paid for that, right?
This team evaluated drivers, none of whom had ever driven an EV personally, as they completed an 18-mile route in a Kia EV6 while listening to a playlist of 6 songs from different genres.
Great.
He said, what we found from only 2 days of testing was that music really can have a dramatic influence on the real-world driving range of an electric vehicle.
It had to be a government funded.
Varying Electrodermal activity and blood volume increase for each of the participants.
Blood volume. There you go, Don. Let me.
Don't ask me anything. This had a knock-on effect on driving style and ultimately influenced the real-world driving range of the EV6.
So if you're a passenger sitting there looking at a Playboy magazine that you happen to see out of your peripheral vision, is that going to
Affect your driving?
affect your driving of an EV?
Yeah, right off the road.
So, did you hear that Chevrolet's going to
Are you going to try to top that story?
No, well, Chevrolet's going to halt production of Corvettes for a little bit because they can't get some parts. Not related to chip shortage, but some other parts that Chevy can't get.
Well, you know, it's
Corvettes,
one of
so
the
they're gonna
things
shut
that we
the plant
learned
down.
today here. I did not know that there was a problem getting some of the race car parts for these top fuel teams. I had no clue.
Yeah, never even thought about it. Yeah.
Well, and to think,
Crankshafts, camshafts.
there's not a lot of suppliers for that. There's just a few suppliers for
guess
those
so.
components. And
But that means that they can't get the materials that they need to make
Bill,
it.
is it the materials to make it, or is it the machines to?
Well, the machines haven't changed.
Probably
They're the
materials
same.
too, yeah.
I mean, to grind a crankshaft is to grind a crankshaft. So I can't imagine. It has to be
It's
the
got to be
actual
like
materials.
the raw material to actually build a crank billet or something.
Well, like
so you
a
can-
forged crank.
Is it something that comes from the Ukraine?
Well,
aluminium.
No, Ukraine's a huge. They have a huge mining operation.
Yes.
Different metals and materials are mined out there, and they're just not being mined right now.
Well, and we learned early on with the crisis over there in the Ukraine that I had no clue that they did a lot of wiring harnesses for all different kinds of manufacturers.
We talked about that story.
And
Yeah.
that's it. And that's
Wiring
jamming up
harnesses?
production.
Yeah, you can't get the wiring harnesses. So there have been a lot of adjustments that have had been made. Okay. I'll get off of my high horse now.
Oh no.
Well, the other thing is Honda is going to be cutting production by about 50% on a couple of lines of their facilities, again, because of the chip shortage. So, and when you drive around, I was driving in today out here and just looking at, because as you come through Baytown there around Garth Road, you're passing the Ford dealer, the Chevy dealer, the Toyota dealership, and looking at who has inventory and who doesn't.
We did that this morning.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, it's scary.
But if you want a truck, not a problem.
Well, it's a problem at the Ford store,
Well,
but it wasn't a problem at the GM store right next to it.
Right.
The Honda store was empty.
Yes.
we saw that.
Yeah, and so all of this is having such a negative impact on the ability of the dealers to make money. So Castellano couldn't survive because he couldn't steal $307,000.
The Chevy store in Sugar Land had overabundance of weight pickups.
Well, that's the fix.
I want to remind everybody that the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show streams on the iHeart Radio app and on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts also available from your favorite podcast source. The In-Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In-Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Tony Stewart Racing joins the NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series, and his drivers, Leah Pruitt and Matt Hagan, will face off against NHRA stars including the legendary John Force Racing Team. Don't miss this battle of horsepower and performance. It's the final NHRA Spring Nationals event at Houston Raceway Park. Don't miss it this weekend. This is your last chance for nitro action in Baytown. Tickets at HoustonRaceway.com.
The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 car talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best car talk show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite car talk team. In-Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/InWheel.